Parramatta. I'm going to be doing a very quick session today. I know it's very quick after the last session that we put on, but it's all to do with the foam roller and the rolling of the legs and the back and the hips and things like that. If you're a client at Pilates in Parramatta, the chances are you have things that you should be rolling. I know they're not nice to do initially, and if you haven't done them for a while, they won't be very nice either. But I'm purposely putting this one in today just to remind everybody that they should still be doing their foam roller rolling as they do it. Keep in mind, especially if you've not done any foam roller work before or rolling work before, that if you have one side of your body that you feel is tighter than the other, always do that one first. When you're first starting any foam roller work, it can be quite painful to begin with. You're pummeling the muscles. It's like quite a strong massage that you're giving to the muscles. So what can happen is if you do the side that's not as bad, you won't want to do the side that's really bad because it will be quite painful to start with. So always start with your more painful side and then go to the other side afterwards. Okay? Now Samantha's not joining me today because I figure I can talk and do this one all at the same time without any difficulty. We're going to start on the calves. Now the foam roller with the calves is quite simple. I'm wearing a bit of a floppy pants today, so I'm just going to pull them up, otherwise they get tangled on the foam roller. Alright, with the foam roller and the calves, the easiest thing to do is to sit behind the foam roller, place it underneath your calves, the very top of your calves, and then straighten your leg. Your foot on the end shouldn't be flexed. It won't get into the muscle as well if it's flexed, and it shouldn't be pointed either. It should just be sort of sitting in between. Okay? Now, depending on how revolting it is for you, if you've got a long foam roller, just push it out one way so that you can put the other foot next to you to help support your weight. Then you lift your bottom off the floor and you pull your bum between your arms and you push it out. And you can roll everywhere through the muscles. So I like to go down the leg straight and then I turn the leg out and go up the outside. Down the leg straight, turn it in and go up the other side. And you just keep doing that. Now, for those of you who don't get much with this, you can use a tennis ball. For those who don't have much with the tennis ball, you use a lacrosse ball, which is what we have. Okay, it's quite a strong rubber. And it's exactly the same thing. You place it underneath, lift your bottom up, and roll down one side, and up the other, and down through the middle, up the inside of the leg, right to the back of the knee, down the middle, up the outside of the leg, right to the back of the knee, down the middle, and up, down the middle, and up. And this is about the speed you want to do it. You don't want to do it too fast. Now, as you're moving backwards and forwards with this one, you will find that you'll move the ball across the floor. It's just a case, if you've got the room, just move your hands around and restart. If you don't have the room, you just move the ball over, nice and easy, okay? Then the other leg. So place it wherever you want it to begin with. If you're going to be rolling up towards you, you come up the outside, down the middle when the leg's pointing straight, up the inside with the leg turned in, down the middle. And the reason is you have two heads in your calf muscle, and both of those heads need to be massaged. If you just roll up and down the middle all the time, you'll be in the groove between the two heads of the muscles. Okay? You also want the pressure to be pushing up so that you're eliminating from the lymphatic drainage and things like that upwards to your body, so your body can get rid of it. So same thing, roll down, the inside of the leg, down the middle, up the outside of the leg, down the middle. If you want to be nasty, you can put your other leg on top, but I even have trouble balancing doing that. Okay, down, back up, and down, stomach in. Always try and push your shoulders down. You'll notice I'm doing this one not on the mat. I have got the mat set up for later, but I'm not doing this one on the mat because you need your bum to slide. It gets very close to the ground and does sometimes sit on the ground. So you need your bum to slide. And if you are on the mat, you end up catching yourself quite easily on the mat. Okay? So that's with the ball. Now, I have something here to show you. It looks a bit odd. I don't know whether you can see it. It is made up of a sock and 2 lacrosse balls. And what you do is you put one lacrosse ball down the sock, followed by the other lacrosse ball, and then you put an elastic on the end, twisting it tight so the balls are shoved in really tight into the toe of the sock. Twist it tight and then pull it back over and elastic band it here. And what you end up with is a double-ended, if you like, ball. And that way, when you're rolling your calf, you can do both heads at the same time. And you can still roll up and down and feel it in different places, but you can do both heads at the same time, which is really good. In that way, you get 10 really well organised. Now, that's that one. This can be used for rolling everything else as well. I'm not going to do that today. I normally would. That's mine that I use here at home, but I'm not going to use it today. I'm going to show you how to do the foam roller for the sides of the legs, the fronts of the legs, the backs of the legs, the bum and the upper back, okay, and the hips. I pulled these back down again because it's not that warm today. To do the outside of the leg, you want to sit on the foam roller, side saddle. So you're sitting over to the side of the foam roller. Again, if you've got a wide foam roller, let it come further out to one side or the other side so that you can get a bit of leverage with it. Don't feel like you've got to sit in the middle of the foam roller. Move it around so that you can place your other foot comfortably and so forth. Now, you sit on the side, legs stretched out in front, other foot over the top, okay? Quite high, you don't want it down there, quite high, bend the knee. Down onto your elbows, okay? Then, this bottom leg, the knees straight, and the kneecap is pointing slightly to the floor. What you want to do is use your arms and the other leg to push the roller down to the knee and back up to just before the hip. And push down and back up. And push down and back up. Now, if it's not painful enough, all you have to do is tip your leg slightly and you will get more intense, all right? If it's feeling relatively okay, you can put the leg on top and it adds weight to the leg that you're pulling and pushing. And you can also come up on your hands. I'm about to fall off the edge. There we go. Up on the hands and push and pull. All the way down to the knee or just to the side of the knee, just before you run out of quad muscle. And back up again. Always with the knee pointing slightly to the floor. 9 and 10. Always finish on the up, coming up your body. Alright? Other side. So you just switch sides. I'll do it still facing the camera. Hands here, sitting side saddle. Down on your elbow for those who need to be on the elbow. The leg that you're rolling is straight, floppy put. You can point the foot to get the toes out of the way if you need to, okay? Knee pointing to the floor. Your knee will try and do that. It will try and point towards the ceiling, and that will just get you out of the actual necessity of this. So make sure the knee's pointing slightly to the floor, and you pull and push. You can stay down on your elbow if it's too hard to go up onto your hands. Use your weight. You can add more weight by adding this one. I'm about to roll off the edge again. There we go. Okay. And you can come up on your hands. Make sure you're not hunching. Shoulders are down all the time. It's a very good arm exercise. Make sure your kneecap is pointing slightly to the floor. That's it. The stomach is on, of course. I suggest you breathe in one way and out the other. It's not vital to have a deep extended out breath with all of these ones, simply because the process becomes too long, and if you're on the sore spot for too long, you won't do it, okay? As you get better at these things, yes, by all means slow it down to a proper breath and all the rest of it. But for the meantime, keep breathing. One of the hardest things with this exercise is to keep breathing because it can be very, very painful. And when you're in pain, a lot of people go and they hold their breath. Okay, now having done the outsides of the legs, we're going to go back to the other leg again, and this time we're going to do down the front of the leg. Okay, so you're going to put your thighs on there now. Watch my back. You do not want to do that. You want to be here. You want to push into your arms. You want to hold your stomach. Okay, and you're rolling using your arm strength again, up the leg and down the leg. All right. Now, for those of you who find that doing two legs at the same time is not getting in enough for you, you bring one leg to the front, put the other leg on top, and just roll that one leg. Okay? And you can do it down on your arms. You can do it up as well. Should have gone the other way because I'm looking the other way. I apologise for my back. Backwards and forwards. I'm about to fall off. That's it. Keeping the shoulders down, keeping the stomach in. That's the way. Okay, other leg. I need to come across a bit. Same idea. Roll backwards and forwards here. That's the way. Need to walk it out a bit. If it's not enough, put the other leg on top. And then if you want to, you come up. There we go. And up and down. That's it. Keep the breathing going. Keep the shoulders in place. Keep the stomach muscles working. And stop. Good. Now, from here, as you get to the side of the leg, when you roll down, you'll feel almost like a hard lump. That's a bit of bone, okay? You want to roll over the bone so that you're in the soft bit that is here, the meaty bit. So not that bone and not your hip bone, it's the meaty bit in between. You can let your leg hang and it's just mini little rolls on that bit, okay? And it can be forward on the front of it, or you can roll it backwards on the hip and going up to the hip bone, so you can come up to here, no higher than the hip bone though. You don't want to go over the hip bone, you're just going to the hip bone itself. You can even roll it back a little bit, but don't worry too much about the back part. We're going to get that when we do the bum. Okay? And just a few rolls. This is particularly good for people who have bad hips. The thigh rolling, sides of the thighs and the fronts of the thighs are very good for people who have bad knees and hips. The hip rolling is also very good for people who have sore hips, as well as the thigh rolling. Really, really good for those sorts of things. Let me just flip sides. Down on the hip, let the leg hang, and just rolling, get it into the right spot. Rolling backwards and forwards just on that hip. Rolling over. Now as you do these, often you will find that after a while, you don't really feel the need to do it anymore. By all means, don't do it as regularly. However, for those of you who find that this is quite painful, it's an indication that you need to do it a little bit more often. The more painful it is, the more often you need to do it. Now you can feel quite bruised after you've done it for the first few times. So allow yourself to do it one day, leave it the next. Do it the next day, leave it the next, for maybe a week. And then if you can really tolerate it, get stuck into it every day, even if you do it literally just before you go to bed at night. You'll be so surprised. It's revolting while you're doing it when it is a painful thing to do, but it will make all the difference in the world to the way you relax when you're sleeping at night time, which is lovely. All right, the other thing that happens is that the more often you do it, the less painful it gets with time. Now, we're going to do the backs of the legs. The backs of the legs can be quite tricky as far as how to have your hands and how to hold them and so forth. I find it best to just start sitting on the roller, a little off to one side because I'm going to do one leg, and you're not just going to be rolling up the middle of the leg. You want to try a little bit on the outside, you want to try a little bit on the inside as well. So you need to be able to roll the leg either way. So this leg is going to be in the middle. You then drop backwards, none of this, always holding, and get onto the leg. Figure out where your arms are going to be for most comfort. Then other leg on top and pull your bottom between your hands and out. And turn the leg in, keeping that bottom leg you're rolling on nice and straight, turning it out a little bit, go right to the hip, down to the outside of the knee, down to the middle of the knee, up to the bottom and inside, down to the knee, up to the bottom, and keep going. That's it. You'll find that if you do all of these rolling exercises in one, your arms will probably give up before your leg does. So make sure when you're doing these rolling ones that you're aware that your arms are going to take quite a hammering, okay? All right, usually what happens, you've shifted over a little bit after a bit of a roll, so I don't actually have to change my position. All I have to do is put down one leg and cross the other one over, and I can get going on the other side. Moving my hands forward. You will find you'll travel a little bit with these. Okay, I'm on the outside of the leg a little bit, down to the knee, up to the bottom, and the middle of the leg for a couple, keeping the knee straight that you're working on. The other leg can just be relaxed. Keep the rolling happening on the inside of the leg, back to the outside of the leg, middle of the leg, and keep that rolling action going all the time. Okay, now for the next one we're going to be rolling your upper back, and you have to be incredibly careful with this one. Several things that you need to do. I'm wearing a relatively fitted top, so I don't have to do this, but if you've got a loose t-shirt on, do make sure that you tie it or tuck it in at the front so it's really flush at the back. Otherwise what happens is you roll through the foam roller, you'll get tangled around the foam roller, and it will sort of, you'll suddenly come to a stop because your t-shirt's gotten caught. The other thing which I will show you how to do is I've got my hair out at the moment, and as the foam roller comes up to the top and then you roll it back down again, sometimes your hair can get caught in it, and that can be quite painful because it pulls the hair out by the roots, which is not very nice at all. So this has a distinct restriction on it. The other one, you want to keep it on the thigh, you don't want to take it over the hip bone. When you're doing the top of the hip, you come from over the hip bone between the two bones. You can also do the front of the leg down to the knee, but not across the kneecap. All of these can go right into the back of the knee, they're all right, okay? But you don't ever want to hit bone as far as that's concerned. Now, for your upper back rolling, it is vital, absolutely important, that you never ever go below, maybe an inch below your shoulder blade, okay? I flared my shoulder blade out there for you. If you come to about here, all right, for ladies, it's the bottom of your bra strap, okay? No further down your back than that. You've got floater ribs in the bottom there. You don't want to start dislocating floater ribs. It's not a good thing. So never ever go that far, okay? You can come right up to the back of the neck, that's fine, not a problem, but you never ever go any further than the bottom of your bra strap. So leaning down, get your chain as well. Chain at the front, grab your hair, tie it in a knot and put it on the back of your head. Now with this one there is no set where should my arms be. If you do some of the rolls with your arms in, you will feel it differently to what you do if your arms are out, okay? My feet are still on the mat. I'm actually going to take my socks off for this because I'm going to start below the mat for this one, because this one always goes for a walk and I need to get grip. All right. Now, you're going to lift your bottom, but not lift. I want you to lift. So you're doing it like a tucking action, okay? Wriggle your feet until they're comfortable. They will move around and that's fine. You can walk them in and walk them out. You breathe in. Breath is vital on this one. As you pull with your legs and you roll back to the neck. Head right back, otherwise the foam roller will roll out from underneath you. Breathing out. Now, watch my ribs on that out breath. Down they go. Then push with your legs and pull yourself into a curled up position. No lower than where I am now. Okay? Breathing in. As you go back, breathing out. Breathing in. Keep the stomach in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Now you can see my legs are quite a big distance away, so move your feet in a little bit. Breathing in as you go back. That was my ankle, not my back. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. If you want to do it with your elbows open, that's fine as well. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. I need to go for a walk again. Breathing in. Breathing out. Now, if you've got one side of your back slightly tighter than the other, you can lean on that side more. And breathe in, go back that way. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. You can do the other side for good measure. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Finish with the middle. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Lower the bottom, not with an arch. Lower the bottom, controlling it. That's it. And then you can either roll sideways to get up or just place your hands and sit up with it. Okay? Now, that one feels absolutely lovely, and it's a good one to throw in if you find that your arms are getting tired with all the other rolling that we're doing. So it gives the arms a bit of a rest while you're doing it. Last one, we're going to roll the bum. Okay. Now, on this one, again, you're going to be sitting up on the foam roller. Towards the back, you should have more foam rollers sticking out this way than you have out the back, okay? Now, the bum stretch position is normally like that. And when this leg is up, this is the bum that you're stretching. It's the easiest way to remember how to do this one, is the leg that is up, that's the side of the bum that you're going to be rolling. So, hands are here, other hand on the foot to support it, okay? This leg can be further away, it can be closer in, whatever is comfortable for you. It will depend on your tightness, and it will also depend on the length of your legs, okay? All right, now, same idea. Roll to the hip bone, the top of the hip bone, and roll to the bottom of the bottom. Roll, and back, and roll. Then you can put both hands behind you. You can roll this really, really close to the sacrum, to the top of the hip bone, but not over the hip bone. Never go into the lower back on this one, okay? If you've got a tight bit, my tight bit is right there, okay? You can roll specifically on that bit, all right? Shift yourself if you feel that you're going to wander off the side. You can come right over. You can move this bottom foot so that you're right over on the hip if you want to. So move yourself around, fiddle around with the position, find the position that suits you best, where you need the most amount of rolling, and just let yourself roll 10 times. That's it. Shoulders are down, stomach is in, all the time. Okay, I'll switch sides, do the other bum. Again, cross the leg over of the bum that you're doing, hand in place, other hand holding the ankle, and then lean and roll. Use your arm and use your foot to help push and pull you into place. Okay? Same thing with this one. You can roll back to the bottom, roll back to the bottom, making sure that you're keeping your posture, your stomach, shoulders, breathing. Pick one way to breathe in, pick the other way to breathe out. If you want to, if you have a direction that is more painful, usually that's the better one to breathe out on. So for me, if I go over that way, this way's okay, coming back is a bit painful, out breath. Breath in, out breath, breath in. Okay, couple more rolls. And you're done. All right, that's all the rolling that we're doing. I would suggest that when you're doing a set of the rolling, don't necessarily do arm exercises on the same day if you have a set of arm exercises that you do. If you want to, I would do the rolling first. Then see if you've still got the strength in your arms to do the arm exercises correctly. The other thing that is really, really good that you'll find will work brilliantly is that after you've done your rolling, your stretches will give far more easily. Whereas most of the other videos that we've done, I've said to you, make sure you stretch before and after. With this particular one, if you want to do your stretches after you've done the rolling, you'll find that you'll be able to relax into it and they'll let go a lot easier than they normally would. Stretching beforehand is not necessary, okay? Wear clothes that are not going to get tangled. As I said, I forgot about the pants. If you wear normal leggings, it will be fine. It's just the pants that are floppy that get in the way when we're doing the calves. A top half t-shirt, just tie it in a knot and tuck it in to make sure that it stays out of the way when you're doing the upper back. Possibly, depending on how low the t-shirt comes, you might have to do that for the bum as well. Okay? Thank you very much for watching. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you next time.